Welcome, everybody, and thank you so much for joining me tonight. My name is Cheri Stoka, and I'm going to be talking about challenges and solutions for successful patient weight loss outcomes. And there are so many people out there that are trying to not only lose weight, but there's also a number of people trying to help others lose weight. So I'm going to kind of talk about maybe some things that you may not expect, but I have been running a business for almost 7 years, and we have developed our own weight loss programs, and we essentially have been able to help so many people with really our turnkey solutions. So again, I want to make this as interactive as we can because I want to hear from you as well, but I'm going to go through this presentation, and hopefully this really helps you think differently about what you can do for your patients. So the agenda today is to really talk about who I am and why did I develop this platform. I think it's very important for people to understand that because we all have a drive and we all have a reason for our passion. I'm going to talk a little bit about the painful challenges that really taught me a ton, and also touch a little bit about why we are experts in weight loss. Also, why haven't you, or there's so many people out there that are trying to help people lose weight and they're not successful at doing that. And I'm going to give you a couple of reasons why that is happening. And last but not least is really help you understand how you can make money in this industry without continuing to add staff and resources and services and product, you name it. So let's go ahead and get started here. So again, why am I here today? So this is me, obviously, maybe my video is blocking it, but I was born with an intrinsic interest in health and the human body. I would ask questions as a very young child. And I've been through a number of experiences that really have taught me many lessons in my life. My health journey ultimately transformed the way that I think and the way that I practice. So I opened Weighless MD because I wanted to be part of a much needed change in healthcare. When we look at everything that has especially happened in the last couple of years, things have changed and things are going to continue to change. And we have to take ownership of our health and keep ourselves from having to go into the healthcare system, because it really is, it is a time when, it's going to be better if you can really take control yourself. So my philosophy has always gone to the foundation. I always wanted to know why, like help me understand why, and then I can create a solution. So that is how I approach this business. We must treat the foundation in order for people to sustain long-term weight loss. It is just like the root of a tree. If the root is damaged, the tree will never grow and have vitality. So that is the same exact thing with the human body. So a little bit more about my inspirations and my background. So I have a Bachelor of Science from the UW-Madison, where I played soccer there. I have a board certification in integrative health and functional nutrition. I have a certification as a LEAP therapist, which is a lifestyle eating and performance therapist. This is basically really honing in on food sensitivities. And my life before my business was soccer. So I played my entire life. I played soccer at UW-Madison. I played with the women's national team. I played professional for about 8 years. So there were many things. There's many things that are similar from when I was an athlete to a business owner. And I really use a lot of those similar skill sets and drives to this day in my business. And it really is truly a passion. It really is teamwork, and it really is a drive to succeed, and not only to succeed personally, but to help others in the process. All right, so I'm going to start with some pretty painful lessons that I learned early on in starting my business. I now have 2 locations. I had 3 at the time, but then I realized that I only have so many hours in a day. I am a perfectionist, and I will admit that. I don't think it's, always a positive thing, but I think as a business owner and managing people, that can be a barrier. It can be difficult for me, and it can be difficult for the people that are working for me. Because I always, every business owner knows that nobody will care for your business like you, and nobody will be good enough like you. So these are things that go through my mind as I'm trying to develop programs and execute, because at the end of the day, it is all about the execution. And then there's the component of managing and training, hiring, firing, developing new programs. All of this is very, very exhausting when you're thinking about how can I bring weight loss programs to my business. And then there's the component of expenses, because for those of you who are listening to this, this is you're either a person that's working solely with patients, or you work for a business, you own a business, whatever it may be. There are going to be similar frustrations, but and excuse me, I'm just letting people in. It gets frustrating, and I had some bad days, but at the end of every single day, I woke up with energy, and I woke up with passion, because this is truly what I was meant to do. So as I am running this business, and I'm developing these programs, and I see these patients having, massive success, I just knew that I needed to automate. I needed to automate so many things in order for me to really be involved and really help all of my employees execute, strategic weight loss, essentially. So these are just some things that I'm highlighting my challenges and what my solutions were. So and again, understanding that not everybody on this call or that is going to listen to this presentation is a business owner, but it comes into play for so many different settings. But when you are a business owner, you have to hire, you have to recruit. When new people start with you, you have to train them. So this is what really sparked, me to figure out, how can I automate this? So I created an entire training platform it started out for me and for my employees. And this was essentially a platform that would go through all of our different programs that we offer. So all of our new employees go through that. Another piece to this is education burnout. We all have it, and we love it so much, but we want to grow. We want to dig into the more complexities of this. And I found myself having, because when I first started out, I was seeing all the patients. Now I don't do that. I work on the business, but when I was seeing patients, it was like the repetition of going over the same. This is the diet. This is the program. These are the protocols. And so what I did shortly after that is created educational videos for every program that I offer. So now when patients come in, they start a program, they definitely see one of our practitioners, or, again, if you're alone, they talk to you, but you're literally setting them up on a video for that initial visit or initial call, so they get an idea of what the program is. And then obviously I'll go into more detail of what that looks like for the full program. So then, I am going on 7 years. So when COVID hit, I was, 4.5 going on 5 years in business, so I it wasn't like I was, sitting pretty, I fought for everything. And then now there's shutdowns, there's no shows, there's cancellations. Obviously there's COVID, and I also have a clinic in Kenosha, Wisconsin. And then there was the riots. So all of this, then it really forced me to think differently, because I knew that I couldn't fail. I knew that I couldn't close or do any of that. So what I decided to do was, what I originally wanted to do was really build out an entire platform online, so patients could do a program at any time, really, with all of the support that they needed, and they didn't always have to come in. What we also did was we transitioned really to everything was virtual at that point. And realistically, that could happen, at any time again. So these are things that we do have to, continue to think about. Another challenge that I had as I was developing these programs and training new practitioners was the consistency of messaging. So you never want to put patients on a specific program and have them hear different things by different people. So that is when I started to create, and just everything I do now, I create a protocol. So I created protocols with specific details for really any type of practitioner, and it is specific to the practitioner. So in my practice, I am medical based, but I am largely holistic. So we do have a nurse practitioner, we have RNs, we don't have an MA anymore, but we have RDs, nutritionists, etc. So there's basically a protocol for any type of practitioner. And keep in mind, and I will talk more about this, but I created this platform, with the on-site physical clinic, brick and mortar in mind, but now it is also 100% online. So my vision was to build an online platform, like I just said, for people to get weight loss at any time with superior accountability. The accountability piece is huge. I wanted to develop strategic weight loss programs that not only got people to lose weight, but it needed to heal and rebalance the body. I mean, we all know this is not a surprise. The body is in a sick, imbalanced state. And if you can just get it somewhat back into the balance, the gut health, the hormones, the food sensitivities that people are having. I mean, you cannot lose weight long-term with all of this stuff going on. So when I started to develop these programs, it kind of addressed those issues that were going on. I also always thought about how can I collaborate with others? How can I build my business and without me obviously being involved in everything. So that's where I kind of created Weighless MD Pro, and I sell protocols in my programs and protocols to other businesses. So I really wanted to create turnkey weight loss protocols that really can be implemented in any setting with minimal work. And my goal always, my brain always went to how can I minimize the work I have to do on this? How can I make more money by doing less? And so that is essentially how I continue to create my business, because, and this is not, that may sound a little, maybe like not genuine or, what most practitioners, because we love to help people, and that I wanted more time for that. So I just really wanted to create a business model that I would have more time to do what I really love to do, because you have to pay the bills at the end of the day. So why haven't you been able to help your patients? We hear it all the time. Patients come to us and they're like, we tried everything under the sun and nothing has worked long-term. And there's a couple of reasons for that. Either nothing has worked long-term or nothing has worked. We are starting to hear now that people simply just can't lose. Before they go on like some pretty aggressive programs, they're able to lose, and then, they're not really sure what to do afterwards. So then it comes right back on. So I talk about this all the time. This is not the venue for talking about specifically those reasons why, but this is just more high level, is number one, and excuse the grammar error there, but lowering calories and telling people to exercise more is a short-term solution. And there are many reasons for that. A big reason is because excess body fat is considered, abnormal or trapped or tucked away, and it's not recognized by the brain to utilize when you are restricting your calories. And nobody understands this concept. They kind of do with certain things they're trying to do to mobilize the fat. But until you understand that a person who isn't obese, they will only lose what's considered normal fat reserves, and then it stops because the body or the brain just sees the normal fat. It does not even factor in what is all going on over there. And the body does that for a reason, because excess fat is very inflammatory. It's very damaging to the body. So your body just kind of thinks it can just tuck it away and everything will be fine. So like I said before, most bodies are sick and out of balance. If you are dealing with somebody who is relatively healthy across the board, they're not too overweight, they probably can do pretty well, which is kind of cleaning up their diet, lowering calories. But for the majority of people, you cannot do that. And another reason why people struggle so much is because there's never a plan, afterwards. After they follow the points, they follow the calories, they eat specific foods, it's like, what happens later? So those are the main reasons of why most people can't help patients lose weight. So now I'm just going to talk a little bit about Weighless MD and then the birth of Weighless MD Pro, which is more of the, the business to business where we sell our protocols. So we are experts in weight loss. I mean, there is no doubt about that. It's all we do. We have a team of really obsessed practitioners that are always bringing amazing research to the table. We have conducted a couple studies of our own. We essentially do a study before we launch any of our programs, because obviously we want to make sure that it works. And like I said, I identified a need for better training and better automations. So in 2020, we started to develop training protocols for patients and practitioners. And then obviously that fed into other businesses. And really, I always thought that I would do something like this, but it just so happened that I was getting calls from other businesses like Medi-Spas and different smaller type of clinics that wanted to offer weight loss, but they just didn't really know where to start. And like I said, our protocols and our programs can be implemented in any type of setting. And you can kind of see the timeline here. So opened in 2014, launched the business to business kind of protocol in 2020. So essentially, Weighless MD Pro is a weight loss training platform. And so if you are, you're listening, you're working with patients, or, again, whatever type of scenario. So what this really would offer you is weight loss programs, like 4 different weight loss programs for your patients. So not only will you get to offer 4 different programs, but you will have this very comprehensive training platform that teaches you about each of the programs. And the programs, or within that platform, you're going to get, videos. There's going to be certain handouts and resources, not only for yourself, but for your patients as well. So if someone decides that, yes, they want to use the protocols that I have and the programs that I have developed, then they would also get 4 onboarding sessions. So that's kind of how I set up my affiliates. So they sign up, they get access to the training platform, and then we schedule 4 onboarding sessions, which I'll talk a little bit more about. You order, all of our programs are in a kit. So they're 30 days and all of them come with like some supplements or some products. And then it's honestly as simple as that. Once you're trained and you understand and you have the kits, then you can start marketing programs at your clinic or to your, your clients, etc. This is just a snapshot of what the weight loss training platform looks like. So you can see here, this is an introduction to one of our programs. And again, I talked in my last webinar about the programs in more detail. So this is more higher level of what it would look like if you chose to offer weight loss. So again, we have 4 different programs. You're in our training platform. This gives you an idea of what our protocols look like, if you can see that. But essentially for each of our programs, we break down each week. So they're all 4-week programs. So week 1, what are you doing? You're watching the video. You are, I'm having a hard time reading this too, but typically, obviously you're weighing in, you're doing a body composition for the patients at home, weighing in, et cetera. And then it breaks down if you are a nurse practitioner, if you're a health coach, et cetera. So it tells you kind of exactly what you need to do for each of those visits. So what it would look like, a weight loss program for a patient. So this is essentially like what the patient process would look like. So if you're currently seeing patients, you're very used to that initial consultation. The patient is completing an intake form and you're reviewing that and having a conversation with the patient. Okay, so that's kind of obviously the first step, and you're going to come up with a program that's going to be the best fit for your patient. And at that point, you're already going to have the weight loss kits. So you're going to give them the kit. And then this is where you have the option, once the patient, you determine what program they want to do, you're going to give them the kit. And so you have the option to either use our protocols if you're seeing patients weekly. So if they're coming in, you can use obviously the protocols and you can do your own education. Now, if you are 100% online, you can still do your own education because you can do virtual visits. Now, if you don't want to do that and you want to be more hands-off, or you want to make sure that they get all of the content, then you set them up on our online program. And then for the 30 days, they receive emails every day and they're taken through the entire program in that regard, in that way. So it's an automated program. They get daily emails outlining what is to be done each day with videos. Me and a couple of other of my team, we have created all videos as if we were seeing them. So it's we know exactly what is necessary, the troubleshooting and things like that as people go through these programs. And then at the end, all of our programs, they are 30 days, but they also have a maintenance plan. So they will also get a number of emails. They will get videos on how to create that long-term maintenance plan. And for some, that is good enough, but for others, they need more. And so our affiliates have the option to use our virtual dietitians, where we can schedule calls and we can really help them really dig into their needs, customize a plan, what works for them for long term, and really helping them maintain what they have lost. So this is just an example of like some of the emails that they would get. Step 1, this is what you're doing. Every single email has a recipe. They also have this portal of all of the resources. So recipes, grocery lists, all of the videos, really anything that is necessary for them to be successful. And whether you're doing online or whether you are at a physical clinic, they are logging all of their food in the platform, and it calculates everything. So before you see your patients, you can go in and see if they're complying. You do have the option to also have your patients or your clients get a home body composition scale, and that integrates within the platform. So if they are at home and they hop on their scale in the morning, then that would auto-populate into the platform, which is really cool. So obviously that's a very specific scale that connects with this. So like I said, it can be used as a 100% online program. And again, you know, I can't reinforce the importance of accountability. Like we have to be on top of people. Like over time, people are fine. They know exactly what they need to do. They know what's realistic for them. And we have patients just starting all the time because they know that they can lose a specific amount of weight when they do it, and they don't necessarily need all the visits. And that's ultimately where I was able to automate and make more money just with setting people up on that. But when you are more involved, you will see the food tracking, the exercise tracking, their weight, obviously. And then the really cool thing is you can message your patients when they're in the platform. They can message to you if they have a quick question and that type of thing. So how do you make money in this platform? It's pretty simple. So they're 30-day programs, and prices are usually priced differently for virtual versus, you know, your weekly visits. So the average for a virtual 30-day program is $350 to $450, and the average for a program that includes visits, so you're seeing them for maybe 20 to 30 minutes a week, is $450 to $600. And so essentially, you know, you're charging the patient, you know, obviously we're not involved in any of that. You simply just pay for the kit. And you can do the math there and see that, you know, if you have 5 to 10 patients that you're making, say 300 some, you know, that is a viable, you know, profitable business. So I have been putting a lot of information out there. And so what I decided to do, because I charge a specific amount for individual clients, and I'm obviously working with them more one-on-one in their onboarding. So what I decided to do to make this more cost-effective, and not only more cost-effective, but make it interactive where we all can learn from each other, which is my favorite thing, because we all have something to bring, and we all have different ideas to help our, you know, people that we're working with. So what I'm doing is I'm taking 5 people, and we essentially are going to do the onboarding together. So the onboarding, again, consists of the four sessions that will get you going. You will also have the training platform, and just keep in mind that it is structured. So you would start, and we would send out obviously all the dates if anyone is interested in doing this, but you would start on a specific, the onboard date would be on a specific date. And, you know, you would get set up on the training platform on a specific date as well. And so just to give you an idea of how our onboarding works. So if you're like, I want to offer, you know, these programs to my clients, the first onboarding call is essentially, we're going to learn more about your business and assess your business. You are all going to gain access to the provider training portal. And if you have a team, you are also going to give them access to it. So if they need the training as well, you're going to start prepping and preparing educational materials and really getting organized in the setting that you're in. You do have the option to brand and alter some handouts, which again, we would talk about in more detail. You determine what programs you want to offer. Some people want to start out with 1 or 2 programs. They don't want to start out with all 4. So we kind of determine, okay, once you go through the training, you're going to see the differences in the programs. You're going to order your products and your kits, discuss and plan a marketing strategy, and then really establish pricing per your market needs, because every market obviously is very different. So what I can make in Wisconsin is very different than what somebody can make in Florida. So the session 2, now we're talking about, okay, you've gone through all the training. Are there 2 to 3 patients that you think would go through this program? You give them a discount, and you're just learning, you know, you're going through the program so you can, when you're offering it to more people, then you're prepared. We're going to review the weekly educational handouts and the protocols, practice consultations, which is super important, you know, having those conversations with patients of what program is best for you. And obviously patients come to the table with so many health conditions, with medications, and I mean, you name it. So those are things that obviously we need to talk about, and then really digging into the differences between the 4 different programs and where you would, you know, use one over the other. Session 3, we're really just questions and answer, or, you know, answering questions and reviewing any challenges. And I'm going through some case studies, which are always helpful. And then the last onboarding piece is reviewing the scalable online portion. And again, that is once you have, ideally, when you have repeat clients, and they're like, they don't really need to see you every week, then that is simply setting them up on the platform. You're charging them, and they're going through the program with the support through the platform. So you really don't have to do much. We will discuss the virtual dietitian option if you're interested in that. I will give you my ideas on marketing, because I've been through a lot. And you can literally start offering, you know, strategic weight loss within 30 to 45 days. So hopefully that makes sense. What I did want to mention, after launching Pro and seeing the success of all of our programs, I am just putting this out there because I am going to be franchising Weighless MD. This is one of my clinics. And if you are someone who, you know, is an entrepreneur and are looking for health and wellness and are super passionate about it, this is where you want to be. So this is just gives you an idea. Like I said, we're a medical weight loss, but everything, I'm psychotic when it comes to health and, you know, this, you know, health and wellness and eating right and all of that fun stuff, and gut health and hormones. So these are just snapshots of our clinic, and that's pretty much it. So I will answer any questions if anyone wants to unmute. You can do that. You can also put any questions in the chat. Happy to answer any questions. Pricing wise, just because this is recorded and we are going to use it over and over, I'm not going to put the price or verbalize the price on the recording, just because, you know, 2 years from now, the price will probably be different. So, anyone? This link is in the chat, and you can click on that if you want to schedule a time to talk to me personally. And I would be more than happy to talk to you and see if this would be a good fit for you. Alrighty, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, and then, like I said, you can reach out if you have questions as you think through this. Thank you so very much. Bye-bye.